Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ATM with me, Jim Jefferies, and Gilly, Amos Gill.
I don't know why you've had to go straight into our Australian FM radio
I've just
characters.
done morning radio. I'm an Australian comic who's given up on my dreams and now I wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning to go and do morning radio. How have you been, mate? How's your week?
You said give up on the dream. That's how I started. So you can imagine it was a bleak
Okay, so a lot of
existence.
people don't know this about you. Before you became, how you say it, a Nazi or whatever you are, right? Before that, you were a children's TV presenter.
I don't like talking about the children's TV presenting years. I used the fake name because it was so bad.
You used to present yourself to children. But you did more. At the age of 18?
No, 19, I did a show called Wacky World Beaters.
Yeah.
And they gave me the gig. Some guy watched me do stand-up and goes, I'm producing Hamish and Andy, but for kids. And Hamish and Andy's like a comedy duo in Australia.
Very popular.
And he goes, look, everyone that's come down's been a bit lame. I still want it to be kind of comedy. So can you audition?
Yeah.
So they flew me to Sydney and there was an ice cream eating contest with kids.
Right.
And I looked at these four handsome guys and they were like grabbing the ice cream and they're licking it and looking at the camera going, oh, brain freeze. Yeah. Oh, you don't need to eat too much of this. Sugar's not good for your teeth.
Yeah, and
that
you
was
just walked
vibe.
up and smashed it into the kid's face.
What I did
and
is
said white face.
I stole the ice cream off the kid I was competing against, ate his and mine.
Yeah.
And they went, you've got the job. That's how low the bar was. But the producer and one of the heads of the ABC saw my stand-up and said, we can't have you talking to kids.
Yeah.
So come up with a fake name. So they went with just Silly Gilly. That's what I'm credited as.
You're Silly Gilly.
Silly Gilly.
Where can we find footage, Silly Gilly?
It is on YouTube. Wacky World Beaters.
Right. And you still get along with kids to this day, right? My son adores you.
Yeah, I like kids.
Yeah. Soundbite. Soundbite. Put it down. Something he says racist, and then I like kids. Put it into his file.
Just so we're very clear, if you're trying to paint me as a pedophile, you regularly let me babysit your kids, so you're complicit. So if you think I'm a pedophile, then you're a very bad father.
I just think you'd be a bad fuck and it'd be over quickly. Take that out. That's terrible, Gilly. How's your week been?
It was good. I was in Canada.
How the
Minus
gigs went
30
well,
degrees.
You sold out?
Gigs went well. Thanks to everyone in Kelowna and Vic. Went to Victoria, the smaller
Victoria
little
is it's filled with newlyweds and nearly deads. That's the big joke.
We didn't even really debrief. There was a lot of Canadian people who came to see you and Jimmy Carr, and I told them about this podcast, and they were like, "You haven't even spoken about us yet. Did you enjoy your tour with Jimmy Carr?"
We love the tour with Jimmy Carr. Yeah. I
Cool.
want to find more cities me and Jimmy can do that in. We did. What did we do? 12 in total.
Yeah.
We've done Canada. Canada's done for that tour, but. No, I would like to do. If Jimmy's listening, I'm sure he's listening. He does listen to things.
Yeah. If he's got a Google alert on his name, no doubt about it.
Yeah, he's right now. He's like, I reckon his Google alert goes like this. Oh.
Well, that's every time he's mentioned.
I've got a message. Oh.
I said that to my audience. I kept saying every time I do a really darkly offensive joke, I'm just going to add that laugh, and that makes it okay. But after my third or fourth one, I was like, I feel like I'm taking the piss out of Jimmy. So I meant no offense. I was just saying, if you are Jimmy Carr, you can look at a person and go, oh, you look like an ugly loser. Your wife thinks of someone else when you fuck. Ha ha. And everyone goes, that British guy, he's charming.
We started off the tour like we were going to go, with dual headliners.
Yes.
So one was going to open one night, one was going to close one night. Then we'd swap it, then we'd swap it, then we'd swap it, then we'd swap it, right? And we swapped it once, and I went, I like going on first. I was just happier going on first because his jokes are so much more offensive than mine.
Yeah.
When he says a joke as well, he says a joke like, anyway, the bad thing about babies is they're so hard to have sex with. Oh, like that, right?
Having sex with children is disgusting, particularly when you've got to take the nappy off.
Right? Anyway, so he can get away with it because he's got perfect comedy timing and everyone knows he's joking, right? But if I do that joke, I'm too shambolic and my timing's not that good and people think he might have done that.
Yeah.
And that's the big difference. So I wanted to take the shock value out of the room for me and not have him take the shock value out for me.
And they were great shows. And I managed to upset you at the end of this big tour where you performed to about 80,000 people overall. I said, do you think you'll ever
that was the last
do an arena again, mate?
No, you didn't say that. You turned to me and go, when do you think you'll do an arena again? Who would fucking say such a thing? I've only ever done about maybe 20 arena gigs in my whole career. And each time I always think to myself, all right, take this in. These are hard to come by. Not many people get to do these.
Yeah.
And then you're like this, you think you'll ever do one again?
It's
Like coming up to me after I've had sex with a supermodel. Do you think any good-looking women want to fuck you?
I hope
It's not my choice, is it?
Hope you've put that in the wank bank. That'll never happen again, mate.
Yeah, true that.
Hell. But it was great. I enjoyed it. How about yourself, mate? What'd you get up to on the weekend?
My wife has been sick, so she's been a pain. No, like she's very moody when she's sick, my wife.
Like the flu? Or...
Yeah, she's got a cold. And she's just outright mean to you. And you can't say anything because I'm sick right now. Like there was like a cup on the bench, and she leaves cups everywhere. Who left this here? And I went, it was me. Oh, I've been trying to clean all day. Go upstairs. Go to bed. Yeah. No one needs this.
Is she? Well, I don't really see you as a soft, nurturing type.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I said something. I said something stupid. I said, I tell you what, if you ever get cancer, I'm leaving you. Now that's a hard sentence. That's a hard sentence to come back from.
It's so true, though. If she got cancer, you'd go, here's $1 million and the number of a chemotherapist, but I know I'm only going to make this worse for you.
No. I wouldn't leave my wife if she got cancer because there's no point splitting things up that close to the end. You know what I mean? I'm not going to divvy all my property 50-50 when I've made it this far. I can see the cancer out. I just got to each day, is she getting better? Oh.
You would be on within 1 week going, you might want to think of a wig. It's getting hard to come with all that stringy hair.
Yeah, but that's the thing with cancer. With women, they can wear wigs.
Yeah.
Men, why do all men with cancer go bandana? What's wrong with a baseball cap?
When did the bandana thing begin?
Do you think it's signalling to people for a bit of sympathy?
Yeah.
Because
sure.
I would just wear a beanie or a hat, but they always go bandanas. Blokes that I know who have gotten cancer who never wore a bandana in their whole life in any way, not even in their back pocket, they go the bandana.
If you go beanie, you look like that guy from the internet, Tim Pool. If you go hat, no sympathy, bandana is park anywhere you want. You get out with a wrapped up bandana, particularly unless you're a Latino, like Latin guys wear like a bandana and it's like a gang color thing. But if you're a white guy, no one thinks
he likes kids. So the other day I went to the doctor. I got a shot of testosterone.
Right.
I'm wanking like more than I've ever wanked in my whole life. I went and did that.
That's what it's for. I thought you wanted to go low T. So
I know, but I like the energy you get from it. I've done it a couple of times. I don't know if it's for me. I'm just giving it one more go.
So talk me through this. You go to the doctor and he shoots testosterone in your ass.
Into my ass, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with his dick.
And do you notice?
He said it was a procedure.
Do you notice yourself being more aggressive?
Yeah, on the way. Okay, I walk out of there.
Because the body doesn't suggest to me that you're high T.
It's been a week.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, I get out, and there's a disabled vehicle behind me. Right. Not the vehicle's disabled. It's got the thing hanging on the revision mirror, the disabled sign. Mm-hmm. And a lady crosses the road. This is Robinson in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
She runs across the road in stilettos. Like, you're not disabled if you can do that.
Oh.
She gets into a car with a disabled thing. She looks like a right asshole, I can tell. And I almost said something. Hey, what's your disability? And I thought, what am I doing?
That's the testosterone in you.
Yeah. I would never have done that. I was like this, and I looked. I gave her a bad look.
But you got to be careful with the tee shots because I don't know if you watched at the inauguration, and we're going to get into this in a second. Mark Zuckerberg went viral in there because he's on the testosterone. He started like doing jiu-jitsu. He's exercising.
What is with everyone doing mixed martial arts now? Right?
That's the Joe Rogan effect.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, no one put anyone in chokeholds. We used to, I guess fighting evolves. If you were fighting, it was boxing, really, when we were kids.
Yeah,
right?
but all the jiu-jitsu people ended up winning everything.
The two kids would size off to each other, and there'd be a punch and a punch. You'd both feel pain, and you go, oh, all right, well, you got as good as I got, and you bloody moved on with your day. It might have ended with you sort of rolling around the ground trying to punch each other or whatever. But there was never like, get him into a grapple hold. The crowd never went like, get him into an arm break thing.
Yeah, that's where it's evolved to.
But I guess
that's something that older brothers would do is they'd hold you down in locks and stuff and say tap.
I guess I'm younger than you.
This is why punching is one thing, but to put someone in a grapple means that they have to ask for mercy.
I know,
and that's why it's more demeaning because you go, do you want me to free you? Do you submit to my will and know that I am the alpha over you? That's why they like it.
No, of course, and also punching people can break your hand really, really easy. But also, if you go back two generations before me, when people got into a fight, they boxed like this.
What, you're a stick 'em up pal?
Yeah, I go like, I'm on me toes. I'm moving around.
Let me show you something. So,
Or my brother's technique was Scott. I'd run after him like, I'm going to kick the shit out of you. He'd run to the couch and he'd get on his back, and his move was he'd have his legs ready to go like this. And he fucking...
dude, that's the older sister maneuver.
Yeah, and he went to kick you up, right, like that. And then you think to yourself, all right, all I got to do is I got to jump in there. I'll get one blow to the face, and then I'll be on top and I'm swinging.
Yeah. You're a nasty fucking creature.
Why?
Huh?
Why am I
I would have seen you as,
mean-spirited?
I would have seen you as a sort of nasty fighter. Like you go for the balls and...
I was the youngest.
Yeah, so
I had to do what I had to do. Okay, so Danny, my eldest brother, who was a sergeant in the riot squad, who's a cop.
Didn't he used to put you in holds for fun?
Okay, I used to get woken up in the morning like this. You'd be asleep. He would grab me by the shirt like that, and then he would wake you up like this. Kaboom! Kaboom! So your whole body was going, oh, like that, right? Hold on, I've lost my headphones.
So you're saying that the violent bully older brother ended up choosing...
Yeah, to be a cop.
To be a cop.
So he'd go, kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. Then I'd get in the shower, and Scott, the middle brother, would get a glass of cold water and pour it over the top. That was a move we all did, right? Now, with Danny, Mum always said that I would be bigger than him one day. And I used to fantasize about walking up to him and punching him in the face really hard
so now,
and winning a fight. But I was bigger than him as a 2-year-old. I was bigger than him as a 4-year-old. I was bigger than him as a 10-year-old. I was bigger than him as a 13-year-old. Every sort of milestone step. And then at like 15, I just stopped growing. And he was 6'4", and I'm 6 foot, right? And so and then by the time I got taller, he was a cop who knew all these holds and stuff like that, right? So I couldn't beat him. So I had to pick me moments. So I realized that at home in our house, we had one toilet and it had a door, right? My mother died on that toilet, mind you. Anyway, she had the injury. Anyway, so there was a toilet, and my brother was tall enough that if he was doing a shit, only if he was doing a shit it would work. If he hadn't locked the door, I could swing the door as hard as possible, bang, and smash it into his knee, right? He couldn't get up. There's half a turd hanging out of his body. Right? Also, I'd have me bike ready in the driveway like this because I had to get away for a couple of hours until he had to go to work or something like that.
So you've got the getaway vehicle.
Yeah, I had to figure out he's not going to be home for a couple of days. He's going out with his girlfriend. He's doing this. This is how I can injure the bastard. But I still have a big toe that clicks with every step of my life. Each time I go like this, my big toe clicks because my brother would hold me down and crack my toes.
So here's what's happened. Jim told that story to his therapist, and they referred him for testosterone shots.
Yeah.
And said, when you're going home this time, you can finally beat the shit out of your elderly brother.
This is the thing, right? I don't know if my brother's on the testosterone, right? And he's shrinking.
Yeah.
I'm staying the same size.
It's an arms race.
My time has come. See, in life, you have to pick your moments. At the end, I was a better fighter than Muhammad Ali. At the very end, I could have taken that cunt.
Yeah.
And his last couple of weeks, even recently, I was at the Dodgers. I saw Sandy Koufax throw a pitch. Fucking hopeless. Hopeless. Couldn't make it from the mound over the plate.
Do you think if you punched your brother in the, would you challenge him to a fight now? Do you think you could beat him?
No,
I still think
I
he'd kill you.
I couldn't beat him right now. I got away.
He would need Parkinson's.
Yeah, if one day I go over to his house and he's wearing a bandana, I'll be like, now's my time.
Even your wife sick this week, I think, would have you. I don't see you as
No, I can't win things. No, I'm not. My mother used to beat the living snot out of me, and that woman, you could really push her.
And your son,
yeah.
I think he will eventually, because you know his mother was a tall lady.
He's learnt the ways of the force a little bit. We're taking him to self-defense and that type of stuff. He's all right. Yeah, Hank can scrap.
Yeah, because there's a moment in every relationship with a dad where you realise...
We've all done this. I know what you're about to say. Where you punch your father once in your life, or you tentatively push him.
It's a push.
You push him in the shoulder like this. He says something to you, and you come back with, "You've always shit on my dreams. Anything I've wanted to do, you've always said I couldn't do it. Well, I'll tell you this." And then you push him in the shoulder, and he's hit you 1,000 times. You're not going to punch your dad in the face because, it's your dad and you love him, etc., etc.
But it's a forceful shove.
But he has no issue, right? I did it with my dad. You can fuck off into the shoulder. And then, quabang, into my face. Dad hit me in the nose.
Yeah, he's got to maintain
Oh,
order.
you're a big tough guy now.
That's what the
big
right
tough guy. This is
what the
this
right
what-
police is for, is to say, because the moment he doesn't fight back, then there's a whole power shift through the entire home. I once had my dad go to me, "You're a fucking smart ass, mate."
Yeah.
Hey, and I finally said, "Well, mate, better that than being a fucking dumbass." Yeah, and that's exactly what Mum says you are. Now, when you're
man,
in
if your
a
dad-
divorced family,
If your dad figures out how to download a podcast, you're fucked right now.
it's on YouTube as well. I'm in big trouble about that. He can go Google Jim Jefferies and show.
Anyway, so what did
But
you
if you're,
say?
because if you grow up in a family that's broken, if your parents are divorced,
Yeah.
if you're from a good,
I used to dream of my parents being divorced.
If you're in a good family that's together, the highest praise you can get is you're just like your dad.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's like your mum going, "I love your father," and you're just like that, man. But from a broken family, the number one insult you can get is "you're just like your mother," or "you're just like your father."
The number one insult in my house to my children is "you're just like Amos's dad."
Yeah.
I say to my kid, "You have the legs of Trots, Amos's mother." Do you understand me?
My dad will genuinely be
Do you
upset. He
understand
will
me,
be
Charlie,
genuinely
your
hurt by this.
3-year-old?
Well, you know what? Jim's son would be lucky to work at Toll Priority. I did 30 years of sales for a trucking company, and all the goods got where they needed to fucking go.
We have a very similar sort of childhood. Our dads are similar blokes.
Yeah, good soul of the earth.
Soul of the
Country
earth,
Aussie men.
Country Australian men. We both know many lyrics to John Williamson songs.
Oh, true. Blood.
John Williams? John Williams songs. John Williams songs. Like, not many people know Raining on the Rock like we know.
Mally Boy.
Mally Boy, right? These are real songs. My father, when he dies at his funeral, he wants True Blue to be sung.
Yeah, of
which, when you listen back to it, it's a little bit supremacy. Little bit.
But with a charm.
Yeah, no, I love this song.
But, you know, when he says in Hey True, he goes, "Hey True Blue," and he goes, "Are we really disappearing? Just another dying race." Many people think, is he saying the white man's been taken over? But you and I know what he's really saying is that the Aussie bloke, even the white Aussie bloke, his children are weak little bitches.
yeah, what he's talking about.
And the ocker, the big, strong Aussie man, is no more. And these little metrosexuals have moved to Los Angeles and have done a podcast.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
he
We
means.
have lost real men. And I'm not saying I'm real. My father, your father, real Australian men.
Oh, that's finished.
And they don't exist anymore.
The globalization means that the whole world is becoming sort of one
Men who lived
mushy group.
Men who lived without an ozone layer or sunscreen and worked in construction. Like, these are.
I love going. That's when people say to me, "Do you miss Australia?" And I go, "Well, if you go back to Melbourne or Sydney, no. But
would
if
you
go to
do miss Australia?
Would I do miss Australia?
I'm Charlene from the Gold Coast, and I miss Australia.
What I'd want for the world is like a good environment and the Great Barrier Reef to return.
Yeah, I want the country to be white, but not the reef. All right, Charlene.
If that isn't a great logo for Pauline Hanson.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't believe the
She
reef. Doesn't believe there's a problem with the reef.
Yeah, there's got to be a new, like a left-wing fascist Australian chick that goes, country's white, reef is full of colour.
All right, so we haven't talked about anything.
So let's look, the whole point of this show is meant to be that we
What's
go through
going on at this moment?
at this moment. And there's probably lots of that we could tidy up. But I thought we'd whip
good
around
stuff.
for the biggest story in the world.
Yeah.
Some people would go with the inauguration. I'm not going to go with that. Let's start off with Bonnie Blue
Yes.
and Lily Phillips. For those who don't know, how could you not know? Every tabloid on earth is pumping these two girls. They're in a arms race like the Soviet Union and the USA in the 80s. Instead of nuclear weapons, it's how many men can they fuck in one day.
They are making money upon money upon money. They're not putting the men's heads in there. Look, I'd like to put myself out there that I will have sex with as many women, 1,000 women. I'll do 1,000 women. I'll beat the record. 2,000 women.
They'll line up for that, you think?
Wednesday.
Here in this warehouse at All Things Comedy Studio.
Yeah, if they line up, they come here on the Wednesday, all the women who want to have sex with me, I'll have sex with 2,000 women.
Will you pay them? Well, it's just for the privilege.
No, well, do these men get paid?
No, they don't. They do it for free.
Who's the last bloke? I reckon, because everyone goes, you wouldn't want to be the last bloke.
Well, we got to say how many there were. 1,057 in 12 hours.
Okay, so I think you don't want to be the last bloke, but
You don't want to be any of the blokes.
No, in saying that, after 50, it really doesn't matter which bloke you are, right? Yeah. I actually think...
50? Yeah. I think after 2. I'm going to say after 1, it's already got a bad vibe.
You'd be
You go 50.
You'd be falling in there if she was a virgin, mate. Anyway, like after 50, it doesn't really matter. So I actually would like to be the last bloke because you'd get a bit of extra time, and you'd get to chat to her and get to know a bit about her. You wouldn't be rushed on. It's like whenever we do the meet and greets after shows, I always know the person who's at the end of the line. They want to talk to me a bit longer, or they got a question they want to ask me. Right, everybody, you've seen it.
Yeah, well, they end up sort of probably coming back to the hotel because they...
I reckon blokes fought to be the last person.
That is truly one of the most revolting things I've ever heard.
Yeah, and you reckon when people were lining up...
You're probably the one, you're the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Everyone had to be tested, right? Or they're all just using condoms. Is that the way they do it?
They use condoms. Can we actually hear it from the mother? So the mother of Bonnie Blue, actually, she helps run her career.
Yeah.
Okay, and she was on British television.
All right, Mum.
Here we go. So let's find this.
What does she look like?
The mother?
Yeah.
She's just looks like a northern blonde woman, you know.
Yeah. I find Bonnie Blue very attractive. I think she's very attractive. But
really, is it the fact that she's been run through by so many people?
Call me old-fashioned, but I like a good old-fashioned British slapper. I lived in England in the early 2000s. I'm a nice northern lass. I'm all in. I just want to hear this. All right, you're going to come on my face.
Where's number 156?
Number 56. Your number's up. Come on in, love.
Taking it like a fucking deli meat
there
tray.
You go.
Picking it up. Number 157.
All right, finish on my face. Can someone... Mom, I need the squid, yeah. Can you get me the squid, yeah?
I can't see, Mum.
I can't see anyone. Oh, is this you, Mum? Oh, this is a penis. That's not me, Mum.
I'm trying to find this fucking woman. Okay, so it's her. This is what I like about it, though. It's her versus Lily Phillips as I try and find this mum thing.
I don't go Lily Phillips. I go the original and the best. I was never a Rolling Stones guy. I was always the Beatles.
Well, these two are competing against each other. One did 100.
Aren't they friends?
They're best friends.
Yeah.
And just like comedians who are sort of like, how many did you have last night? Did you do a theatre? Did you do an arena?
Did she make I can't find this Bonnie Blue footage of the 1,000 Men. Have you seen any of the footage?
No, well, I'm not an OnlyFans. I refuse to pay.
No, I don't pay on OnlyFans. But I would for that.
What, you think?
I just need to see it because it's a record. There's certain moments in history that where were you? Where were you when this happened? You know what I like? When you're about to watch porn, you do a routine of this, and they had the adverts, and the advert always starts on Pornhub like this. Are you tired of masturbating alone? No. It's my favourite way to do it.
Yeah.
Are
you alone?
I so much prefer masturbating by myself than others in the room. I've seen both worlds, and I've decided that I'm better off on my own.
Yeah. Are you alone? No, Uncle and Auntie are actually here. We're catching up, and I'm just going to knock this one out, and then we're going out for lunch. Like, why do they try and shame you as though masturbating by yourself is some kind of sordid act?
Or this, are you sick of masturbating on your own when there are grandmas in your town who want to fuck? No, I'm happy masturbating on my own.
And I'm not masturbating on my own. I've got my webcam here, and no doubt the NSA are watching me as I do it right now, and I'll give them a little wave. I can't find the fucking mum. Here we go.
So you have intercourse with barely legal teens?
Yes.
Do you enjoy it?
Love it.
What about it do you enjoy?
I love taking vaginas.
Why do you do it?
I get pleasure from it.
How did you turn it into a business?
I film it and sell the videos.
How much have you made from it?
Millions.
They're young, immature and unaware of the world. How do you justify doing it?
They consent and they love it.
What countries have you done it in?
Mexico, Australia and the UK.
Ranking best to worst, which was your favourite?
Or Mexico, UK, Australia.
That is Bonnie Blue, everyone. Welcome to the reality check. Make sure to like, subscribe and comment. Check out.
That's because every one of those guys would have been like, yeah, fucking did love that. Yeah. Big Aussie dick.
Yeah. Oh,
could you imagine?
Must be better than that British cock even getting those uncircumcised. But you want to know why?
Big fucking tanned Aussie cock,
because
mate.
all those big fucking uncircumcised British dicks, they come really quickly because they got more sensitivity.
Oh, fucking, you love that. Oh, yeah, fucking sluts.
Yeah,
I can imagine those disgust. All of them wore beanies. By the way, in the video, all of them wore a balaclava because every single one of them was like, I do want to fuck this chick, but I don't want to be demeaned online.
Yeah, but you also have job opportunities and stuff like that you don't want to have. But look, one of the privileges of being a woman is that you can have sex with over 1,000 people in 12 hours if you so wish. Men, we don't get that opportunity. But I'm putting it out there once again. I will have sex with 2,000 women. You don't have to finish. I'll only finish with 2 of you over the course of 12 hours. 2 of you get a load. 2 of you get a load. The rest of you can think about it.
I mean,
share it around.
Look,
Come swap.
I hate to think of my conservative relatives.
Yeah.
There are times where you think,
wait a minute. Okay, so this is the problem with the word conservative, right?
well, here's what my definition of conservative.
Now the word is political, right? I have a conservative auntie would vote Liberal. You know what I mean? Like she's not.
Dude, I watched this video.
You're talking about like church going.
I'm just saying, people who aren't worshipping Satan.
Yeah.
If you're fucking 1,057, there is demonic forces at play here.
Why?
And I do think,
if it's all consensual,
from the moment the bikini was allowed at the beach, this is the final stage. We've gone from no bikinis to bikini on the beach, tits are out, and everyone's
maybe
like,
we'll
well,
go
that's pretty good.
backwards.
Yeah, so I think we're going back.
I think that everyone's consenting, correct?
Yeah.
Everyone's of age.
Yeah.
Right? If the age limit's not the age limit's not the thing, like everyone's of age, right? You can in Britain, no problem, right? They can have a beer and everything while they're there, right? And who's it hurting? Who has been hurt by
this? It's not the only
situation?
time in my life I've said consent's not everything, but
No, it's all consent.
I know, but I'm saying people are consenting. Sure, there's no. People consent to do a lot of things that I think is gross. I'm not saying whether things should be legal or not illegal. I just think, are we in a great place in society?
I would have, as a kid, done it if I could have gotten an express pass. Right? Whenever I go to theme parks now, it's the lining up that bothers me. Right? If you could have got me one of those Disney tour people that actually just walk you onto the ride. It's $5,000 to go to Disneyland with 8 people. You know what I mean? But it's worth every cent.
You pay $25,000 and her mother walks you to the front of the queue.
I have a flash pass. I have a bracelet that makes me go by people.
You've got a photo next to her.
Yeah, I walk all the way through, yeah. Afterwards, I get a T-shirt to wash cum off me dick. Other people's.
A cum rag from her.
Yeah.
Well, where does it end, though? Because she's done 1,057.
Yeah.
So now it's all about shocking. And the world is so...
I think if she's made $30 million, which is what people are saying she's made, call it a day.
Yeah,
retire. This is what I reckon will happen with Bonnie Blue. I'm pretty sure this is what will happen with Bonnie Blue. She will retire.
She will be in church in 3 years.
Yeah, she will retire and then say in some way that she was taken advantage of and porn is a terrible business and it all should be taken down and that she was under the influence of this, that and the other and that she's a victim in some way.
I went to church the other day and it was so nice because, the priest said that I'm a virgin again.
They all find God.
I'm a virgin again?
You go any porn star that you haven't seen for a long time, Google what they're up to. And they're hanging out with God.
I tell you, there's a few pastors in the middle of the English countryside that don't know how lucky they're about to be.
Yeah.
A couple of vicars are like, oh, she just wandered in my lap. Don't worry, turn away from that dark life and join me here in the Anglican Church. Don't come to the Catholic Church. They won't have you. I've seen a lot of nasty things about her. I think she's satanic.
I think Bonnie is a very attractive girl, and
to me, it's disgusting.
You full of shit. You said to me, you were the one who told me about her, and you said she's super hot. You said that, you're lying.
Well, she's got
sack of whatever.
Good-looking features, but you start to look at her over, and there's a deadness behind the eyes.
Oh no, she's not. Well, I'm not marrying her.
Well, that's what it's attractive.
You haven't had a wank to Bonnie Blue?
No, I haven't had a Bonnie Blue wank.
Bullshit.
I'd date Lily Phillips over Bonnie Blue.
You are my... Okay, I'm old school with porn.
Yeah.
I like porn stars from the years 1995 to 2008. That was when porn was in its prime era, right? When you bought videos and DVDs, right?
Yeah.
That's what I've always said about I don't like OnlyFans because it's not that I don't want to pay for it. It's the quality of the production that I'm very upset with.
Oh, you think it's fallen away?
We used to have epic... There was one about pirates that had like Riley Steele and Jane, what's her name in it and stuff, where it was worth millions of dollars. It was a big epic pirate movie.
So my generation doesn't have the fucking attention span for a storyline.
We used to do a parody. We used to do one. I always like a parody where it's going, oh yeah, it's all. And I saw one the other day. It was Gilligan's Island. I used to watch it as a kid. I'll have a wank to Gilligan's Island because it looked like the skipper and Gilligan were going to have a threesome with Ginger.
Yeah,
right?
Because it's all about degrading everything that's pure.
But then the problem, you know what the problem was?
What?
Halfway through, fucking the skipper just puts his cock in Gilligan's ass. And I'm like, I didn't sign up for that bit.
How many times have I told you this?
Yeah.
I'm of the belief
Porn's making you woke.
that porn the Pornhub website
Yeah.
is really trying to make me trans. Okay?
Trans?
Or like into trans.
Oh,
Because
trans,
I'll
yeah.
be watching, if I've ever watched porn, right, now they'll be like, oh, 2 guys, 1 girl. And if I've ever clicked on that, I think, all right, this 2 dudes are going to fuck this chick. And then next minute, one of the guys is sucking the other guy's dick. And I'm like, you had to give me a warning on that. There had to be a special label to tell me that the dudes were going to do something gay. You've tried to lure me in thinking I'm going to watch good, honest fun, healthy, 2 guys, 1 girl action. And next minute, the guys are sucking each other off. They are trying. Maybe it's China. TikTok got banned. We should ban those videos because
in the early
they're trying to make us all bisexuals.
In the early 2000s, that didn't even happen. Didn't happen. You saw nice heterosexual sex. It was 1 girl and 8 men. And the 8 men didn't touch each other's
That's what I was going to say. They awkwardly sat there and maybe their nutsacks rubbed against each other.
Now,
but they weren't happy about it.
Of course, if it was 1 man and 8 women, the women had to lick each other out. That's a different matter altogether.
Completely, and that's fine. And we all voted for that.
But the trans thing, have you ever had a wank to trans?
No.
I had an argument with a relative who's very left wing, and she said that I'm all for trans. I'm all for plastic surgery if it makes you feel better about yourself as an adult. I don't believe kids should be doing it. Fight me. But anyway, my a relative of mine, I said, yeah, I would never have sex with a trans person. I just want to have sex with someone who's biologically a woman.
Yes.
And she goes, oh, but they're now a woman. They've become a woman. It's none of your business.
Saying, well, you are.
And I
having sex with a
said,
woman.
well, they should tell me. Yeah. I should know. I should have that knowledge and make my own decision up. Why should they tell you? Because it's a question I asked. Any question I ask in the world before I have sex with you, you should answer, or you can say, I'm not going to tell you. And then I can make my own decision up on what I want to do. Yeah. If a car's been in an accident, right, show me the cunt facts.
No, it is. It's saying, look, I'll take it for a ride, but has the back bumper been ripped off?
Like, I'm not Annie. I'll take it to a demolition derby or something. I'll sell it for parts.
Yeah, well, what am I getting in for? That's all you're saying.
Yeah. I just want to know where I'm at. I think there was one many years ago that may have been because it had a man's ass, fake tits, and brilliant blowjob.
Well, there's the clip.
Yep.
Got the clip. So
couldn't find the clip.
If Jim's dad's watching, that's what he's become. Bloody Hollywood.
I didn't do it on purpose, but
No. This is my favourite thing about the trans movement over the years. Here
we go.
I was thinking about it because I worked in radio at the time when Caitlyn Jenner came out. Okay.
May I say, one of the best looking 65-year-old women in the world. Yeah. Took a man to do it.
Men do it. We excel.
It's a joke.
And but I remember reading the story. Okay, I was on breakfast radio in Australia, and we were talking about this, and no one really trans wasn't a thing as mainstreamed as it is now, and it became a political talking point, and it's been a cultural hot button for about 10 years. But before that, trans wasn't really something that got people angry. It was something that most guys were like, oh, remember that trip to bloody Thailand? Well, something weird happened there. No one was angry about it. No one really cared. It's only when it gets made into a political football.
That's exactly
So it's
right.
actually bad for the trans community when it gets pushed.
Exactly. They pushed too far and then people pushed back even further.
Yes.
Right? So I've known trans people in the stand-up comedy community for over 20 years. And because, of course, they get into the comedy because they're outsiders and they have a unique perception. What's the word? Perspective?
Yeah.
Perspective. Fucking, this water's hitting me hard.
Nothing like being a male open micer who can't anywhere, so you go trans, suck a couple of bookers, and you're all over Hollywood.
I tell you what, there was a trans comic in Manchester, and I'm not going to say a name or anything like that, but I was with her doing a gig, and she got into the car the first time I met her. She got in and sat down. It was her first. She'd only had the surgery a week ago. Right. And I think the biggest compliment I could have given her, she goes, I've just transitioned. I've just had a sex change.
Right.
And I think the biggest compliment I could have given her was, which way? I was so unsure. I just went, which way?
Were you really, though?
I didn't know which way. It was, I don't know, but I think that's a compliment.
I think that's a big compliment. I thought you were going to say she was sore because...
No, she sat in the seat because she just had her dick cut off.
Oh, I thought you meant that she just got a pussy and it had been rooted for the first time.
No, the pussy had just been built. It'd just been a new pussy. They just put in new shelving.
I always say about this, the trans community has some of the highest rates of sex work. And I've always done a joke about this where I say, yeah, it makes sense because you buy the investment of a vagina and it's like a rental. You've got to get some revenue back to pay for itself.
It is an immense amount. And it's also because
asset.
every man has always said this. Oh, if I could get paid to fuck chicks, if I could get paid to fuck, I would do it, right? And then as soon as we can get paid to fuck, it turns out we do it.
Immediately. First day. To the point where the surgeons probably have to give you some literature like how long to wait to be a prostitute.
Yeah. After the surgery, give it 4 weeks before you sell your pussy.
Now you're probably thinking you can sell the puss.
Yeah. We've put one of these tree odorizers up there to make it smell all foresty and nice to begin with. It's ready to go.
So anyway, that's our point, is that Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips are in an arms race to fuck as many people as possible.
And that's what's happening at this moment.
Well, she's about to do ass to mouth with 1,057 people as well.
Yeah, I tell you, Wednesday, come to the studio, line up.
Okay, well, that's how I know I am getting more conservative as I go. I'm even off porn these days.
You're getting more conservative.
I am because I think it has.
I'm like your fucking lefty old uncle. I'm way more left wing than you.
No, I'm super conservative. Listen, I've lived through the libertine years.
You've lived through nothing.
I've lived through the libertine years of my time, and I've seen a lot of people my age who've been told do whatever you want, and they sort of feel depressed, anxious, and lonely, and they're sort of in basements spanking themselves off. And not fucking their wives or girlfriends anymore because we're becoming increasingly isolated.
And that's why you're right wing? What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm saying that's why I feel more conservative about like these situations. Like I don't think it's good for society.
Oh, no.
Young women.
It's not good, but the laws are how the laws are.
Yeah.
And if you want, if she wants
to
I
don't care about laws. I care about culture. That's all. It's all about culture.
Look, porn, it's over. It's over. Kids' brains now.
Yeah.
People growing up now, their brains are no good. Right, I've never needed a blue tablet to get an erection, right? But I grew up on Playboy.
Yes,
I grew up on Playboy. I think this next generation now, it's like, get a blue tablet discreetly. You have to because you're so desensitized.
Yeah, you saw a DP when you're in the pram on Mum's iPad.
But I've watched so much stand-up comedy that I can hear a kitty fiddling joke. It doesn't make me wince whatsoever. I'm desensitized to stand-up completely.
Yeah.
And there's other people who are shocked very quickly.
That's what I mean, is I'm just sort of culturally coming around. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm about to become Islamic, but you see their cultures aren't.
Oh, fucking Cat Stevens over here.
I'm about to Andrew Tate it.
Here he goes. There's where
I'm just saying, it all started with legalizing the bikini. Who was the chick that wore the bikini to the beach and it was a big furor? Do you remember?
Ava Braun.
Yeah, Ava.
She was always in bikinis.
Was she?
She was. Ava Braun would have been an Instagram chick. She was always taking videos of herself like frolicking around the beach and stuff up at the Eagle's Nest.
Oh, there you go. Well, speaking of Nazis, let's go into the inauguration.
All right. I never said that. I don't call Trump a Nazi anymore. I've learnt.
He's not a Nazi, but
you said it.
It was yeah, exactly. I'm the one who's on that side, and I'm going to get fucking painted with that. Huh? Got me.
No, it's because Elon saluted. We all saw the salute. I won't actually do it, but he went tap tap, and then he ducked out, but he did it with a real snap, right? And that was the problem. Now he's clearly, and look, I have sympathy for these folks. He's clearly autistic.
He's got Asperger's.
Yeah.
He was in front of a crowd. It's not one of his great talents. And he has pulled out what does look to be a Nazi salute. And I was reading about the fallout from this, and they're saying, it's disgusting. Donald Trump says we're returning America to a golden age, and now we've got a guy doing Nazi salutes. And let me tell you something, Jim. This is the American golden period. A Nazi who's promising to take Americans to space is literally what made America great. The NASA...
How long have you been holding that in your back pocket ready to say?
NASA...
You've been driving around with that little gem. You're like, that. The Nazis helped us get to space, and now there's a Nazi helping us get to space. Back to the golden era.
When he says make America great again, we had Werner von Braun under Operation Paperclip.
Yeah.
The German Nazi scientist took us to space. Now we've got another guy who engineers cars and is taking us to space. This is a return to normalcy. If you're going to get genius figures like a Howard Hughes, a Nikola Tesla, they're fucking odd. He doesn't communicate well. He's been given too much of a platform. He needs to go back to a basement, make some cool shit, and just take a break from public speaking.
He's clearly a genius, right?
Yeah,
and look, as we said on the last podcast, there's a picture of me in my Tesla with cats, and I haven't had more anger. Well, first of all, I got the Tesla before he started to become all Trumpy. Right, and it's my third Tesla, right? I get them on leases. When the lease runs out, I'm thinking of going a non-Nazi vehicle like a BMW.
Yeah. I think
I'm going to go from Tesla to a BMW so I don't look like a Nazi.
I think that was
the world's crazy.
Alyssa Milano said that. She was like, I'm quitting Tesla. And then I think she did get a Volkswagen. And it's like the logo of Volkswagen is the swastika when it's in motion.
Is it?
If you look at the old Volkswagen logo, when it spins, it does give the appearance of a swastika.
Well, the Volkswagen Beetle was the design was approved by Hitler. The people mover. He wanted. Hitler actually said more headroom. He said, "I want more headroom. I don't like when my head hits the top. More headroom."
Is that what it was?
Yeah, more headroom. So they made that fucking Beetle.
So he could get the hand up.
Yeah, so you can get the head up. You get those convertibles. Those old Volkswagen Beetles that just had clips. Where you gunk.
So Elon was. It is interesting because obviously.
But
I've got a lot of Trump supporting friends, right? I lean more conservative, and throughout the campaign, everyone was like, "Oh, this is so scary. This is the beginning of a new fascist takeover of America." And I've always been like, "That's ridiculous." And then I turned on the news and I saw from Elon, and I thought, "We don't need the heat right now, mate."
Yeah,
it was a bad time.
It was misguided, but I will remind you, he is a white South African.
So
shout out to Bill and Jonty,
and they're built.
Oh, Jonty and Bob.
We don't want to lose the sponsorship.
Bob and Jonty's biltong.
But
right.
So the viral post was about Elon being there, and he's so exuberant and happy. And then everyone says there's another form of sort of autism with Trump's largest son, Barron, who I think is probably the future emperor of the United States. Did you see Barron? He's 6'9". He's looking good.
He's really
hair
tall,
slicked back. Super tall.
Yeah.
And he got the biggest clap of the night. I don't know if you saw the clip, but they introduced him at one of the balls, and he got a louder clap than any of his siblings.
Did he cover his ears and start screaming?
Well, he actually did this. He pulled his hand out and was like cheering the crowd up to give him a big laugh. And it's like he's finally found his personality, because he used to be super shy and everyone used to make fun of him.
Yeah.
But in the end, he was like a 14-year-old kid, and your dad's the president. And
No, horrible. And your mum doesn't want to be there. And you're like, what's going on here? Okay, do you think Melania and Trump are still in love? And still...
I don't know.
Or do you think
there's obviously marriage of convenience elements, but at the same time, dude, he's up there dancing with the village people. Everyone's applauding him. He's made one of the great political comebacks. Is that not sexy? Because I've always thought when women...
No, it's not about being sexy. See, I think Bill and the other woman, who was he married to?
Melinda Gates.
Hillary.
Oh, sorry.
Bill and Hillary Clinton. Now, obviously, Bill is fucking around, has been fucking around. That's his thing.
Yeah, they're both power players who have been on the rise.
Yeah, and I still think they have a marriage where they probably are best mates and they sit around the house.
I think they...
No, I think they still get along, those two. I still do. And I think probably... Look, it's, as you get older, you start to learn, like... Look, if my wife... you get old, you don't want to have another relationship. You're just happy with the one you got, as long as you get along with the person day to day.
Well, it's just a long conversation.
I think like Trump and Melania, maybe, I don't think they're fucking. Let me put it this way, I don't think they're fucking, but I don't think she gives a fuck if she's fucking anymore, and he still wants to fuck.
I reckon he gets it once a month or something.
She comes over, I fist her with my small hands.
If the guy that wrote The Art of the Deal can't secure a route once a month in the White House.
How old is he now?
He's like 78.
Yeah, who wants it more than once a month?
Dude, he's getting if you're getting testosterone shots, he's getting testosterone shots.
I've done it a couple of times with testosterone. I'm not going to be a person who's regularly on testosterone. I can't do it. I just at one stage, it's more than masturbating on the road. Just.
It would be funny if you keep taking it and you up the dose, and we see how much of a Rogan-like podcast this becomes for you if you get into jiu-jitsu. Can we do that? Can we get you with more testosterone and then we send you to a martial arts class?
My T counts weren't that low to begin with.
Weren't they?
No, they were all right. They'd be higher than yours now. I'd have more testosterone.
I reckon me testosterone as we speak higher than you.
In the time I've known you, you've become more and more of a bitch as time's gone by.
I will agree with that.
Yeah.
It's the food. And that's why RFK has to be
used
confirmed.
to be, because this is what I think of RFK. I think of RFK, they got rid of that red food colouring. Fantastic.
Well, let's do that.
You know when that red food colouring was invented? It was passed by the FDA. You know what year?
1910.
1908. 1908 it was passed by the FDA.
Dude.
And we haven't touched it since. And it's proven to give cancer to mice. We haven't proven it in humans because we can't test it enough to actually test that many people.
Well, it's not just that. So Red Dye 3
Pointless.
This is what it's
Any food dye is pointless. Give me bland coloured food. I don't need it to be bright.
This is
Candy's candy,
this is
sugar,
what's so
sugar.
annoying when you're on you're branded a conspiracy person. I've said this about America for my whole life. The whole world knows your food is poison, and then suddenly someone who you don't like in RFK or Trump says the food's poison, and all of a sudden everyone defends like Kraft and big food companies goes they're good people.
No, there's companies. McDonald's tastes different in Australia.
Yeah.
It tastes better. It tastes fresher. It is better in Australia. Skittles don't have all these food colorings in other countries. Mac and cheese, box mac and cheese, like these are kids' foods.
But this
it's
is what's
mostly
funny.
kids' foods. Adults can still buy their stuff and not, but kids' foods are filled with fucking shit. I am all for getting rid of all the chemicals and unnecessary shit that just saves companies money.
Like
That's the only
vaccines,
reason
I agree. And
no,
let's
but
move
not
on to
vaccines.
the next. No,
Not vaccines.
we got it.
You're there scooping everything in the same thing, right? RFK's not a fucking scientist, nor is he a doctor.
No, but stop.
But he has common sense when it comes to food, not common sense when it comes to vaccines. I don't want to hear his rubbish about vaccines.
But this is the situation. If the government and the FDA, which job is to regulate your food. Now, if every other
they're fucking useless.
if every other country decided that things like red dye was bad for you and other food products, additives were bad for human beings, why didn't America do it? It's not like they don't have the
Because they're corrupt.
Because they're corrupt. Now, why is it a strong extension to say in medicine? Is there a chance that the same body that's job is to regulate may also be protecting big businesses and giving us bad medicines, or certainly not testing them rigorously enough?
For the most part.
So
for the
no
most
one's
part,
saying ban vaccines. It's, let's be honest.
No one's saying ban vaccines. Loads of people are saying ban vaccines.
Yes, they are, but they're saying
No one's saying ban vaccines.
RFK, his point, right, when push comes to shove is, let's see all the data. Let's just be open and transparent about it.
RFK should like me. I'm the gun control guy. You still have a fucking uncle and a dad. If you listen to me.
Well, if you really think that the CIA couldn't have got a gun to a couple of those guys.
Oh, you think the CIA did it?
I think the CIA did everything.
Bloody hell.
It's a game of working back to what the CIA did.
Conspiracy.
Well, this is what also is driving me.
Conspiracies from a guy from Adelaide.
This is what was also driving me mad about the Donald Trump thing.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all these lefties, many of my friends. Huh?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello,
And
Bob.
the fact that all these people are going like, oh no, we're entering an oligarchy in America today. Oh, it's an oligarchy. Now, it's like, have you been paying it? It's been like this since about 1950. America's it's been corrupt. Billionaires have called the shots forever. And only now are they going, this is maybe billionaires are having too much of a control over things. You don't think that was happening for Biden? It's just the fact that we've got this Asperger's Elon Musk jumping up and down, drawing attention to it. At least Donald Trump's billionaires are so cartoonishly villains that it draws attention to it. But it's been going on.
I don't believe that anyone who wants to be president is a good person. I don't believe that you can be, because, or you at very least you have to be a megalomaniac or a what's the other one? The sociopath. If you can just sign off like send this missile here, send these soldiers here, and then just go to bed that day, that's tough going. Why would you want the job? Why would you want to campaign all that time and have everyone call you a piece of shit? That's psychotic to want that job. The only person where you think, oh, he seemed like a nice bloke was Jimmy Carter, but even then he probably
wasn't very effective.
Yeah.
Too many feelings involved.
Yeah, exactly.
You
right?
be
But
calculating.
like Obama, for example, a great talker, right? And you think, oh, all the hope and all that type of stuff. He loved the power. Loved it.
Love the power.
They all love it.
Love the wars, because everyone ultimately in the United States is at the behest of major companies, many of them military-industrial companies, and only now to all the lefties. As soon as this is what's sad.
So this is the thing.
As soon as Trump's in, as soon as Donald Trump is in, all of the young lefties go, oh, we have to stand with the FBI and the CIA and the institutions. And then when a left-wing politician's in, they go, the institutions are corrupt and the economy's bad and the military's doing awful things overseas. And it's like, they're always like this.
Yeah, they're always like that. Yeah.
Yeah, why do you like the FBI all of a sudden, you fucking hack? What do you like the FBI?
Look,
The institutions are corrupt. I'm either a fascist or a communist at this point. I don't know which one, but I'm either way.
So what's your opinion on healthcare? Should we have healthcare?
Should we have healthcare?
Universal healthcare.
Not here in America, but back at home where I can escape to it.
Yeah. Do you want there to be universal healthcare in America?
I think healthcare should be better. I mean, I'm not going to lay out a healthcare platform, but
Well, what do you think? Should we pay for it or not?
I mean, I joke about it.
Should
in
everybody
America.
have access to it?
they should have access to it, but I also think America needs to clean up its
All right,
food.
all right, you
I think it
lefty.
needs to clean up its food.
Yeah.
No, I'm not like righty lefty. I just play issue by
Problem
issue.
with the medicine thing
They're
is
too
that
fat here for
it's
healthcare.
medicine for profit.
They're too fat.
Oh, yeah, they're too fat.
Because I used to joke
You know,
about this a lot.
But hey.
Oh, but in Norway they get healthcare. They ice skate to work.
Yeah, I know. But,
These pigs cannot be insured.
Okay, first of all, it's 330 million pigs.
It's a lot of pigs.
Yeah. Look, I am not a what's the word? I'm not nice to the fat, right? You know my
I know
opinion on
this.
the fat, right? My opinion. I feel like you have a responsibility as a morbidly obese person, if you're a parent especially, to get yourself into fucking shape, and that's why Ozempic.
Do we have them as a sponsor yet?
Yeah. No. Meth will do it.
Methamphetamine.
AIDS. Can you get AIDS all the way to the end and then start taking those tablets that make it all right?
Yeah, the Fauci tablets.
That'll get you thin.
Yeah. Now, let me follow that up by saying I've always thought
so
about.
you-
let me just think about it.
You agree that people should have medical
Of course,
care?
I love coming from a country like Australia.
Abortions.
What about abortions?
Should they be legal?
I guess, but my issue with abortion, I'm fine for abortions. I want them to be. What's the old left wing? I consider myself an old lefty, safe, legal, and rare. But for some reason, it's become this thing where people like later and later term abortions, and they glorify it as something great. I think that it's a traumatic event.
That there should be unwanted people brought into the world. I believe that that's not good for anybody. Not good. Unwanted people, unloved people. It's not a good recipe for success.
Well, I mean, you've seen me do stand up about it, but I think keep all the babies.
Yeah.
Abort none of them. Keep the babies, grow them in a lab, and put them in the U.S. military.
You were slightly wanted, and you're still struggling.
And I've still got problems.
Yeah, you still got problems. And you were somewhat wanted.
More unwanted children means, that are born means more comedians.
All right, so basically you're a lefty.
No, I consider myself to be an old left-leaning person. I don't like the veering towards a lot of the groupings where everyone's grouped up, like we spoke in the last episode, where it's all about your identity, your sexuality, what race you were born into. I'm more class conscious and think that we need left-wing politics that looks after people's economic interests rather than dividing us on what group you are and what you were born into. I don't really give a fuck about any of those things. I liked left-wing politics when it was like housing should be cheaper. You should be paid for a good day's work.
You can't make housing cheaper. How do you make housing cheaper?
Well, you need to limit immigration and you need to make
the population of the world is too big.
I'm a problem.
This is what
I've come to this country and created
this
extra
is what
demand.
I reckon.
Deport me is what I'm saying.
This is how I reckon you run the world, right? This is how you run the world. Get rid of borders. No more borders.
No.
The whole world's one, right?
You're a fucking John Lennon song.
Wait for it. The whole world's one. Whole world's one. Just imagine. Right? You can live wherever you want, but the good places are going to be fucking expensive and you're not allowed to be homeless. We have container fucking village.
Dude, what you're saying
out
right
in
now,
some country
what
that you can afford to live in for $5 a day, right?
What you're saying is basically what most right-wing people think that the global cabal conspiracy is, which is they want the whole world to be governed by them and they get to live in the
government.
good bits.
We all just run
and
around.
We all have to move off.
We all just run around. We have barbed wire fences like South Africa.
Why do we go to South Africa?
And the world will be as one.
Yeah, no, I mean...
No, I haven't got a quick fix.
No, there is no quick fix, is there? There is no quick fix.
Next thing, come on.
Let's talk about
your salute you did the other day.
It's the thumbs up. That's Trump's one. Is he loves just getting the thumb up.
I got to give it up to the village people, like what they've done for a buck, right? Let's be honest. What is the YMCA song about? It's about
dudes getting fucked in a hostel.
It's fucking in showers in a hostel. Right? When you're a young man who's been kicked out of your home, there's a place you can go. I said, young man, when you're short on your day. And everyone, all these right-wing people are dancing around to basically a song about bumming in the shower.
Yeah, there's a lot of conservative people who go, all this gay propaganda's everywhere. And then they go and clap the village people and Trump dancing with them.
Yeah, and then they come out. Now, they're 5 gay guys of different races.
Yeah.
And they're like, they shouldn't typically been voting for Trump, right? But that's their payday. They're back in the charts. They're making a lot of money again. They get to do a big concert. So they've sold their soul a little bit, right?
Well, maybe even the village people understood that inflation had gotten out of control.
And they got rid of the Indian, didn't they?
Have you seen how expensive?
Oh, the Indian was still there?
He was there.
There was a guy in a headdress.
There was a guy there.
Oh, we still had the Indian headdress?
I don't know if it's the same guy, but there is a guy in a headdress.
No, it wasn't Indian. It was Vivek Ramaswamy.
Oh, I was gonna be the sixth member of the Village People, but I was just gonna do one of those hats with corks on it from Australia. If you haven't seen it, there's a stereotype of Australia where we wear a brimmed hat and we have bits of string hanging off and we put wine corks on the bottom of the thing, and you're meant to go like this, and they swish around, and that stops flies from getting you. But no one's ever worn one seriously. Only people have worn them as a parody. Maybe there's a bloke in the outback.
Where that came from.
Have you ever seen?
Yeah, no.
Have you ever seen anybody, right, finish a party and be like, hey, don't throw those corks out. I might make a hat.
Yeah. Well, we've got mesh now. I think it was just. So it was just an alcoholic bloke.
Put up a photo of the bloke in the hat.
That?
They're very easy to find.
So the one I wanted to discuss with you outside the inauguration is obviously. We'll do a lot of stuff about Donald Trump's term, but we should finish off Joe Biden.
Hey, well, let me say, I wish Donald Trump good luck, man. I don't want this to be a shit 4 years. I hope it all works out good. I hope the wars all end and everything he says is true, and it's all going to be.
I'd like to see the end of wars.
I'm not optimistic. I think he's a buffoon, but good luck to him. I hope he goes well.
He's got an interesting team around him, and we want to see the end of war. And a lot of those wars.
Never say we again.
Well, you and I. You and I want. No, Jim loves wars. He'd like to send. We're actually raising money for more bombs for the Ukraine.
I don't believe we ever should make another weapon in this world ever again. That's how hippie I am, man. Yeah, what are we making weapons for, man? What are we making weapons for?
There has to be new
weapons.
We've
dropped 2 nuclear bombs. Yeah, do the research. Make one prototype so it's ready to go if we need it.
Yeah.
Right?
Have it on ice or
whatever. Yeah, have it on ice, ready to go, but we don't have to make them.
I think those weapons still exist.
We can beat China. We can beat Russia. If Ukraine gets too big for their boots, we can, anyone we want. Timor.
No one in America knows what Timor is.
Yeah, we can give them a good going over. Bali,
you want
don't
to
get too lippy,
Timor?
Bali.
We already took over Bali. Don't you worry about that. That's our island.
We're going to send in soldiers just the whole of Australia, like, oh, Bonnie Blue's there.
So Joe Biden... We have to finish off his reign. He finished by pardoning all of his family members in perpetuity.
First of all, before you get into him, let's just say one thing. He was more of a class actor than Trump was.
No.
He met him on the stairs. He left the note in the desk. He did all the things that you meant to do and the peaceful transfer of power.
I thought you were saying with the pardoning because,
No, the pardoning. They all did. Trump got in and he had a pile of fucking shit that he was turning over.
His executive order.
He was with his fucking psychopath signature. Has anyone ever analysed that signature? That signature is Jeffrey Dahmer's fucking signature. Or
why? Because he does lots of squiggles.
It's just up and down and up and down. It's like salute, salute, salute. Like it's just bang, 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 bang. It goes up and down, up and down. And then he tries to sell watches, and that's the big centerpiece of the shit. Your watches are shit, mate. Until Trump wears one of his own watches, he's there wearing the presidential Rolex, and he's telling fucking mugs to go buy his shit watches that are the same price as Rolex.
Well, if you buy Trump coin, you can save enough money to get a Rolex. A lot of friends made a lot of money on the Trump coin.
Was that like a Doge thing?
Yeah, I didn't love it. I don't like the president pumping his own crypto, I must say.
I don't like the president selling
We didn't like
shit.
Hook Tour doing crypto, and then the president gets fucking crypto.
He shouldn't be selling shit.
Well, I want to talk about Biden, for God's sake. Let me have my moment with Biden.
All right.
We've got 4 years ahead of us where you can mock me for Trump. Okay, so he pardons Fauci.
Yes.
This is going to be the big one.
What is it?
He gives a blanket pardon for Dr. Tony Fauci for any crimes he may have committed over COVID. It's not a great look for your innocence when you're begging
we still
to
get to find out the crimes, even though he's pardoned.
Well, that's what you need the day. You need the day in court to find out what exactly did go on, because Dr. Tony Fauci. I know a lot of your lefties. They love Dr. Tony Fauci.
I don't like Fauci.
Okay, the man, the level of lies through COVID that we're starting to uncover, such as it came from a wet market.
Nah, the wet market never came from a wet market. Never came from a wet market. And you know why they said wet market? They said wet market to us because we all didn't know what a wet market was. And then everyone said wet market with a lot of confidence. A wet market. It just means that it's stuff that's What does wet market mean?
It's though you've been to the Chinese places where it's just all the animals are laid out.
Yeah, I know, but
and they
why
sort
is
of-
it called wet?
I think it was the fish because they throw water on the fish and it keeps them
Oh, that's disgusting.
flapping alive. They don't put them on ice over there.
They're
keep
cutting
them.
fillets out of fucking fish, and the fish is still alive, just looking at you like that. It's fucking horrendous.
But anyway, we obviously find
didn't
out
come from
that,
the wet market. It came from Wuhan in the virus laboratory.
and that the United States, in secret programs, has been doing gain of function research to weaponize viruses, and then there's a massive fuck up and a leak, and it goes on to create COVID, and there's no accountability about it whatsoever.
I
And he
think
was
the
in charge of
Chinese.
the
I think the
program.
Chinese were fucking around with it. I don't think it was us.
It was us
Why was it us?
because we set up these laboratories
In China?
in Ukraine, and in China. We've got co-share programs with them where we were testing them as
I
weapons.
don't feel like we'd be co-chairing with China. I'd have to see more information.
Yeah,
The
look
problem
that up.
with you is you've read a few things that may or may not be true, and I've read nothing. So you have the upper hand. Right?
No, but
Right? So I've read zero things, so you can say anything, and I have to go, all right, I guess. To quote my last podcast, I don't know about that. I don't know.
he also created AIDS, but that's
He didn't create. Have you ever seen Who's Patient Zero and AIDS?
that's all bollocks.
He
man.
was a Canadian air steward. You look at that fella, he spread more AIDS than he was like the first one. Google first
I
AIDS
saw him,
patient. Yeah. And he's like a sort of Peter Allen type guy. He has like a little bandana tied around his neck, and he just went from, because he was an air steward, he went from country to
worst person
country,
that could
just
possibly-
fucking, the worst guy. And he brought it around the world. Canadian. Would have been so polite about it.
I'll look that up. You look up Dr. Tony Fauci's work with the CDC that he's done for a very long period of time, investigating and fucking with why are we fucking with these viruses? Just in general, because we want to make them basically a weapon we can unleash in another country that wipes them out.
It could be that we're looking to find cures for these things. It could be that there was another COVID that was similar. It could be that you're looking for a vaccine. There's a lot of reasons. I believe they were fucking around with viruses. This is what I believe, right? I believe they were fucking around with viruses, and it got out either on purpose or by accident. And I can't tell. I wasn't there. I wasn't in the Wuhan laboratory.
Exactly.
You know how I think it got out? I think it got out the same way that everything gets out. Someone was shit at their job. The end.
Yeah, the end.
So, someone was shit at their job.
But
if you've worked in any employment in the entire world, there's always someone who's shit.
What I want to finish on with this is what pisses me off is all the establishment people blame Donald Trump for everything. Oh, the decay of democracy and the institutions. The truth is the institutions let us down, and not all of them. There's lots of good people inside them, but they lied about COVID. They lied about social distancing because they always think, listen,
Wait a minute. So
we
social
can't tell.
distancing didn't work? It did work.
No, there was a
it was
lie.
an airborne thing.
They made it up.
So
The 6 feet they made up.
Well, you had to have some distance.
But this is what I'm saying. Then they said, don't wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. At the beginning, they said, don't wear a mask because what they said that for was they didn't have enough and they didn't want to create panic. So they said, save the masks for the doctors. Then when they did get enough, they said, actually, we made that up. You do need a mask. Little lies like that treat people like they're idiots. So you're always better off being honest. And this has happened with the media. The media has lied about way too many things because in their heart of hearts, they think, if I'm giving them a fair criticism, well, it's hard to actually be completely honest. So let's just try and give out basic facts that miss out on certain details. Just like when Donald Trump, they said when he gets to office, he said he's going to cause a bloodbath. When he never said bloodbath about that, he was talking about a bloodbath to the economy. These little lies have all added up, and now no one trusts anything mainstream anymore.
Okay, tell me this then. Is there anything...
They committed suicide.
Is there anything untrustworthy about Donald Trump?
Oh my God, absolutely.
And if so, what?
Listen, Donald Trump is a very obvious grifter type who's come along at a perfect time. And a guy like that can only come at the end of an institution. The institutions
Or when Melania fists her arsehole.
They have lied so many times about so many things that this became the best option. And so when Donald Trump beats you twice, look at yourself and say, how rotten must we be?
It doesn't matter anymore because it'll be over in 4 years. Just write it out.
No, Barron will take over in 4 years as emperor.
That's what's going to happen. And then Donald's going to become vice. He can still become vice,
Him and his son?
Yeah.
Dude, that's Darth Vader.
He can fucking make Donald Jr. become president, and there's no terms.
We don't want Don Jr., we want Barron.
Nah, we want Don Jr.
No, we want a 6'9".
Then you don't have to change too many things. Lithograms on the on the fucking towels and
money?
shit. Yeah, it saves money.
You just have to change a J to an S. That's it.
Yeah.
Don Senior, Don Junior. But that's what I think is going to happen. And so if you're a young, angry lefty and you think that the mainstream TV and the FBI and the CIA were wonderful institutions, they weren't. They fucked up to the point where this is what you get. So enjoy it. And while you're there, buy a crypto scam.
All right, Kate, let's give it now. Give us your predictions, so we can record it right now, for this government for a year's time from now.
My prediction,
what's good? What's bad? What have they done right? What have they done wrong?
My predictions are this. When you are at the end of empire, stop trying to get a job and buy a house.
That's an opinion. What's your
stop
prediction?
trying to get a job, buy a house, and do everything right. Now is not there's no middle class anymore. Whatever money you can get, buy any scam crypto coin you can and gamble, because we are picking over the ashes of a decayed empire. That's what I really think. If a Nigerian scammer sends you an email, give him the money. Who knows?
What laws do you think Trump will bring in that will make the world better? Do you think immigration will be less? Do you think the economy will be better? Do you think housing will be lower?
Fact number one, definitely they will stop a mass stream of people coming into the country unchecked. Now, I don't care if you're a fucking lefty or a righty on that one. To me, the pure common sense as a foreigner was, I spent $10,000 and had background check after background check to get to this country.
Obama turned away more people at the border than Trump did. That's just a fact. And Clinton built more wall.
Yeah, I'm aware of this.
Right?
That's why I'm saying. So why was it when Donald Trump came that they painted it that he was some evil fascist that was controlling immigration?
I don't believe in illegal immigration. I believe in legal immigration.
No, but what I'm saying is they did this psyop on the public where they thought Donald Trump was the big, nasty, evil man who puts kids in cages when they were built by Barack Obama. That's what I mean about media lying. They hid it for the Democratic candidate and then they illuminated it for the Republican.
Yeah, but Trump did say a lot of shit.
Yeah, he said the truth.
He called them rapists and murderers, and some of them might be good people.
Of course, he's rough, but the truth is that gangs are coming across the border, and you know it moving to America. It's really fucking hard for a lot of people to get here. And then when you see people
has had a terrible time.
When you see people walking across the border, you go, is it okay to ask him a couple questions?
Dude, first of all, I wouldn't want to be a legal immigrant. It's fucking stressful being a legal immigrant, right? I wouldn't want to do it, right? But look, it turns out living in Mexico might suck, right? That's why they want to fucking come over. But I believe people should do it legally. I don't believe in illegal immigration. I believe more immigrants. I believe we should have more immigrants because we need people to do menial jobs, etc. That people just don't want to fucking do.
But this is the thing.
Like if you go to Australia,
but this is why I'm actually more left wing than you. Okay?
If you go to Australia, who builds your new roof? It's an Australian bloke. Right, tradies.
Tradies.
Tradies. And then these are guys that get pussy, man. They wear high-vis fucking outfits. The women really like them. They're plumbers. They're electricians and stuff like that. Man, my kids' school, they're not telling any of them, maybe go get an apprenticeship.
Which they 100% should.
Yeah.
We always joke about it. The high-vis in Australia, the clothing gets brighter because those guys want to be seen because it's a status symbol to work with your hands in Australia.
Women think it's sexy if you can fix things.
Dude, the amount of people living in LA who I talk to, and they're like, yeah, man, we need illegal immigration because who's going to pick the fruit? If you're saying that is not a progressive left-wing. You're essentially saying we need borderline slavery to keep our economy working. People who come across the border illegally are taken advantage of often, where they have to work terrible jobs, get paid little, because the unspoken truth is, if you fuck me off, you're gone and you'll be back across the border. What we actually need is people to be paid fair money to do manual labor. So I'm both left-wing and right-wing.
Right, but
people are taken advantage of when they're illegal immigrants.
What about we get the same prisoners who put the fires out?
Those guys did a great job. Let's get them roofing.
Yeah, what? No, fruit picking. We don't have to make them roofers.
Fruit picking, whatever it is. But you are not a progressive. I
want to see orange is the new orange.
Orange picks the orange. The new fruit program here in
orange
California.
Is the new orange.
Yeah, so stop saying we need.
And the female prisoners can make jams.
We need these people to come across the border because they do the work.
That's not going to go well, that joke.
Make the jobs worthwhile for people that fucking live here. There's a lot of people on the poverty line. Don't just give them more people to compete against and drive wages lower. There's a reason right-wingers and left-wingers both loved an open border. All right, the left loved it because they're like, we're emotional and we care about people's journey to a new country. And the right loved it because they said, oh, they'll do anything for a buck.
Right.
The sensible centre.
I haven't met a right-wing person who loves it, and I don't really.
Most big businesses love it.
I don't think the majority of people like illegal immigration,
and that's why he won.
But they're not fucking crime. They're not eating your pets. There's a lot of fear mongering.
They could be eating the pets.
They're not eating the pets.
Hey, Jim, have you ever tried food in Ohio? The pets is probably the best.
I have
choice.
a stray cat out the back of my house that visits us every day. My wife feeds it. Hasn't been eaten yet. We have Mexicans everywhere.
Mate, the pets are the only organic food.
Any immigrants, but that's where the illegal immigrants come from a lot. I'm just saying that Mexicans don't eat the pet. How can I get out of this?
An ad. Roll an ad.
Roll an ad. Let's record. Do you want to do Icelandic dating app?
I'm Gilfy.
Hello, Gilfy. I am Biffin. We are the inventor of a new app called Don't Fuck Your Sister.
It can be tempting because they're all very hot and there's not much population. But don't fuck your sister.
The country only has 270,000 people. It is very hard not to fuck your sister.
That is until we came up with the new app.
Don't fuck your sister. You go to the bar, you meet the girl, you think, hey, time for us to have fun for sure.
Then you take the picture of her and it scans the face, and with AI it says,
that's
don't
your
fuck your sister.
Now, we were going to call the app Don't Fuck Your Cousin, but then we realized that's an unreasonable request because we are all cousins in a very small land. Obviously, you can go diverse and pick someone who doesn't look like your sister. One time, Gilfy, I tell you what for sure, I had sex with a brunette girl. Wild.
Diversity. The brown eyes?
Oh, she had blue eyes, but the hair was dark as dark.
I was going to say yuck.
I think it was dyed. She was doing Latino head.
What about questions that we get from the customers often? Hey, is it okay to fuck my dad's mother? That's your grandmother, and
yes.
It's still a no.
Well, it's a no, but it's not as bad as your sister. Plus, grandmothers are okay because you cannot impregnate them. So fuck away.
That's right. We need to make sure that you can still sleep with people, but not ruin the genetic pools too much. Go to...
Don't fuck your sister. I am Biffin. This is...
Gilfy.
Night, because it's always dark here.
Starbucks has finally decided to reverse its open door toilet policy.
Yeah, you can't just go in there and have a piss.
You got to buy
a coffee.
A cinnamon cake.
Or a cake pop.
To take a shit.
Yeah.
At Starbucks now.
Yeah.
Which,
but also there's a way around this. You go in, I need to have a shit, I'm going to buy something on the way out, and then you don't buy anything on the way out. They can't police it.
I'm thinking you buy a Starbucks Keep Cup, and that way you walk in, you sort of show, like it looks like you've purchased before. And that's like your ticket into the toilets. You don't have to buy.
Or you just have a voucher in your pocket, like one of those plastic vouchers. Yeah.
Well, I go to the Starbucks.
Piss card.
I go back to the Starbucks near me a lot, and this open toilet policy has been rough.
I would hate to have a business in LA and have every homeless person come into your business like, can I have a shit? Can I have a piss? But what is one of the big problems with LA?
No toilets.
No public toilets.
No bins.
No bins. They need to have those toilets that just wash themselves, where the floor just goes sprays the whole thing, and then you open it up and it's good to go.
Well, that is very true. Is because Americans constantly complain about the smell of piss in their major cities.
Yeah.
But then they don't want to spend any money producing toilets so people can piss where it's not on the street.
In the UK, they have outdoor urinals where you stand sort of facing each other, and there's a little hole where women can sit, where men can stand up out the front of nightclubs so they're not pissing in the street, and they have a piss. But here in America...
But they only keep them for the night, by the way. They're not there all day.
Yeah, they're not there all day, for the night, so there's not piss in the street. And they're always being used, and everyone's like, I'm just catching up to you. Hold on, I've got to have my fucking piss, man. Like that, right? No problem. Everyone's fine with it, right? But in America, they're such pussies about their dicks, man. Americans are such fucking pussies about their dicks. Go to a urinal in Australia or Britain, you just get a trough, and we all stand next to each other. It was men.
Quite often your piss is spraying into someone else's shoes.
Yeah. And you just have a piss and you look at each other, you make a bit of a joke. If there's a cigarette butt, you try to wash it down to one end, or you try to eat away at a urinal cake as a bit of a job. In America, they just have the little urinals, and it's not enough that you have your own urinal. You've got to put a barrier in between. What are you all worried about?
Yeah, it's very... I mean, that's America for you right there. It's freedom. It's privacy.
Yeah.
It's having your own car. It's not being close to the general public.
Yeah.
Whereas Australia, socialist, communal, public transport, and one big urinal block where we all piss on each other.
Yeah.
As common men together.
Yeah, no problem.
You've got far more respect and love for your fellow man when you've done a bit of fucking water play with each
Is
other.
there anything better than having a piss and you finish, your mate's still pissing and you sort of bump your hip into him and it sort of, hey!
You know what used to happen in Australia? I remember when you'd go out for a night and you'd go to take a piss. If you walked in to the toilet stool and just to take a piss, you would be fucking mocked.
Yeah,
like,
people
this
are
guy's got a little cock. What are you doing? You're not even taking a shit there, mate. Give us a look at it. It's fucking tiny.
There was a comedy club in Britain that had a dressing room of sorts. It was just a wardrobe next to the stage, but there was no bathroom in the thing. Sometimes right before I go on stage and right after stage, I like to have a shit.
Yeah.
Right? My body does something, the adrenaline or whatever. I had a really ropey gig and we had to use the same toilets as the general public, right? And there's intervals in between the acts. Yeah. So I'd come off, the MC's on, I've run straight to the back, I'm in the cubicle, I'm having a shit, and I have to listen to maybe 30 different men saying how shit I am.
That's the worst.
Well,
the Comics Lounge in Melbourne has that.
I'm just sitting on the toilet, it's just with half a turn. That guy was fucking hopeless. Fucking hell, he was fucking bad, like. I don't know if I've ever seen something so bad.
Fucking Aussies. Not funny.
Fucking, he didn't have a point to any of it.
It was witless.
It was just ramble, ramble, ramble. Oh, I've done this. Fucking bragger. And so then
he's an alcoholic.
And then you just crack the door and you walk back out and you wash your hands with as much dignity as you can.
Oh, who was that? There's an executive order for you. I think maybe what's Starbucks' opposition?
I don't know, but I've always thought
the coffee bean and tea leaf.
Coffee bean, yeah.
That coffee bean and tea leaf should do an ad where the CEO just goes, "You can have a shit here for free. Take a piss, have a shit.
You can have it.
It's on us.
You must be able to have a shit in a Taco Bell. They can't be turning people away.
Well, that's entrapment if they don't give you a free fucking...
Like, no, you got to be able to shit. You got to be able to empty your bowels before you buy the food.
Del Taco.
Oh, I've had Del Taco. Del Taco's appalling, and I'm a fast food guy, but Del Taco's appalling.
Yeah,
it's really bad. It's like, how do you fuck that up? It's a shit meal, Del Taco.
I've not even bothered to pull in.
You know what one's underrated is El Pollo Loco, the stuffed quesadilla with the avocado. It's not bad. It's all right. They got one thing on the menu. It's good.
Well, there's a sponsor for us.
There you go.
All right. Well,
yeah, El Pollo Loco. It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right. I've had worse.
Yeah. What is it? El Pollo Loco. It's one of those places where you check the maps and you're like, it seems to be the only place for a while.
Yeah. I couldn't get to a Paquito Mas. El Pollo Loco.
Well, that's pretty much us for the time. We've waffled
and
on
I have
for
more
a lot.
money than I have more money than going to Taco Bell. Taco Bell's always reasonably priced.
I don't know how to even order a meal at Taco Bell. I just sort of say 5 things and then you get a sort of a big bag that congeals into one.
They've got one at the moment which is 2 burritos that sit next to each other. They've grilled cheese across them, so you have to pull the burritos apart.
Yeah, it's Mexican. It's Mexican Kit Kat.
Oh yeah, it's Mexican Kit Kat. El Kitty Cato.
Which we said they don't eat cats, by the way.
Yeah. You don't actually want to see a Mexican Kit Kat. But all they do is they get into the office at Taco Bell and go, give me shapes. We're going to change the shapes and I'm going to put the cheese in the middle, in the outside. I'm going to have it melted. I'm going to have it melted on top. I'm going to have it sprinkled to the side. I'm going to have it so you can dip it.
Yeah, and you know what Australia would do? 100% we would do like it's cooked with Vegemite. That's what Australia does. Is every country their fast food comes to us and we make a Vegemite version.
Well,
and it sort of just gets press. For like a week.
What they do is
Vegemite chocolate.
They always whip a bit of beetroot.
Fucking bullshit.
Beetroot on something, and then just go the Aussie something or other. You know what they don't have in McDonald's? They have in Australia.
What's that?
The McFeast. You know the McFeast? I thought that was standard everywhere.
It's just a Whopper.
It's just a Whopper. Yeah, it's just a normal burger with lettuce, tomato, onions, lettuce. Cheese.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, that's what's happening at the moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what's happening at this moment.